What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, Jason here, and today we've got a review of the CEUK Performance Induction Kit and the silicone hose for the Mk8 Fiesta ST. As you can see, it's absolutely chucking it down behind us, so we're not really going to be able to do a great deal of sort of 0 to 60 runs unless it clears up. We're going to go through some pros, the cons, and we're going to do some engine note sounds and do some dry pass and that sort of stuff, so stick around. There's a shit ton of cows behind us as well, look at the size of these Right, so there is the air filter, and as you can see we've got this silicone hose as well. Relatively easy. We've got these, I think they're called like circlip things. 2 of these to put on, nice and simple. Comes as 2 different units obviously. The hose comes as one and the induction kit comes as another, just about fits in there okay. There we are, excuse the dirty engine bay, it is going to get cleaned. One of the issues I found was getting this bit in, because the hose has got a bit of a kick in it, so trying to twist it in nicely and get it all sort of set up. What I would recommend is put it all together first and then slot it into the back. So the original unit obviously goes where the current air intake is, and you can see the hole from where the box was connected. Just sort of the air that comes in from the bonnet will go straight into the box and then into a tube that will run round. So we've just kind of put the silicone tube in and also put the induction kit in there. Relatively simple to take off and put back in. I'm not going to patronise you by showing you how to do it. I've already done it and I can't really be asked to take it off, if I'm honest with you. Right, I'm not really a fan of revving an engine without having a load because it's not exactly good for it, but we're going to do it for the views anyway, so I'm going to do a couple of revs so you can hear the induction kit from engine side. Cheeky swig of the Red Bull. Not sponsored. Right, so we're just gonna, oh, watch out, pigeon! So we're just gonna head down some B roads now, back to the area that I've sort of eyed up for us doing the drive past, so you guys can hear the induction noise of the engine from outside of the car. And while we're driving down these roads, it gives me a bit of time to give you my opinion on what I think the induction kit has done for the car, basically, and whether I think it's worth it. So from my perspective, there are some pros and some cons to this induction kit. Now, I'm going to stop right there and state that the cons that it has, I don't give a crap about. Like, I've got absolutely no issues with this system whatsoever. But we'll start with the con anyway, and that is engine noise. Now, most people that buy a car like this and end up buying an induction kit do it intentionally, to make sure that the car sounds sportier, you get the better noise and engine note. So yes, it's a con, but if you're buying one, you probably don't give a shit anyway. Now, there are loads and loads and loads of forums and specifications on the internet that say that induction kits will give you 20% more power. Really? I think personally you're probably getting 3 or 4 brake horsepower at most, especially on a car sort of like this, which is already relatively tuned. Obviously not as tuned as it can be. We'll get into that later on in another video. But the induction kit stops a lot of the turbo lag, or at least it seems to allow the car to spool up a bit quicker. There doesn't seem to be any kind of delay when you put your foot down with the negative pressure of the engine, trying to suck through a stifled unit. Now, the original Ford unit is basically just a black box. I'll put a picture up of the original unit now. So the air comes in on the original unit from the intake from just underneath the bonnet, goes through some plastic tubing into the box and then into the engine. Now that's great, it's a great design, it gives it some sort of ram air effect basically when we, oh, horses. Hello. It's a bit loud to be going past horses, this, sorry. So the standard induction kit box kind of just, it holds back the amount of air that can go through the system. Granted, it does stop water getting into the system splashing up and it's a lot safer, but great, it's raining. But the standard unit does offer protection against water splashing up if you're going through massive puddles. But basically, if you've got the performance intake, just drive carefully. So I'm going to give you justification for me arguing the point that I don't think that this gives you 20% more performance like some forums state. It really depends on the car you're driving. So a car that's already tuned to the 9s, you're not really going to gain 20%, are you? If you stick this on something that's got 1,000 brake horsepower, 20% of that's 200 brake. You're not getting that from an induction kit. Vice versa, on a Citroen AX R-plate or whatever registration they come in, you're looking at a 60-70 brake horsepower car. You're not going to get, say, 70 brake horsepower. You're not going to get 14 bhp improvement purely from having an induction system. It does make the car sound a hell of a lot better. Part of the reason that Ford don't put performance induction kits on their cars is for compliance and for road noise. cars like this, when they're giving it the absolute nines, make quite a bit of noise. As you can hear. So the standard box that Ford put on the car helps stifle some of the engine noise and some of that turbo discharge as well, which makes the car a bit more eco, happy-go-lucky, let's not offend the pedestrians. Are we allowed to say that? It does, however, make the car more civilised, and that is kind of what Ford are going for, because it's a massive company that makes a shitload of Fiesta STs, and there are quite a few people that have these cars for the trim and the looks, but aren't really too bothered about performance, believe it or not, so they don't really want turbo discharge noise or engine bay noise. I, on the other hand, can't stand a quiet car. I quite like a loud car, and for this 3-cylinder 1.5 turbo, as I've stated before in previous videos, is quite loud. I've heard one of these with the Mk8 exhaust on it, and it sounds fantastic. The induction kit on this does offer that bit more of a sporty tune, which is nice, and it's kind of what I wanted the car to be from the off, to be honest. Will you stop raining? One of the improvements you do get is the turbo discharge or dump valve sound with the engine, which is quite nice if you like that sort of thing. I think that anybody sort of over the age of 2 likes the sound of a turbo discharge, but that's just me. It does really enhance that sound. Like, I can't emphasize it enough. I didn't really notice it with the standard box on, but with the CEUK filter, it definitely gives you more engine note and turbo discharge sound, which is great. I'm only ever going to call that a pro, to be honest. So the induction kit at low revs does help with torque as well, in my opinion. Other people may disagree when they drive the car, but I found that the difference from having the induction kit on to not seemed to give me a little bit more torque lower down. There's a bit more urgency in the car, so it gives that effect of removing turbo lag, which I suppose it probably can do, because the car can spool up a bit quicker because it hasn't got the negative pressure from the box stifling the air. For those of us that want to tune the car up past the stage 1 remap, like ECU remap and exhaust fit, the intake is stage 2 compliant, or stage 2 ready, as it were. So if you whack the air intake on, the induction kit on, you end up in a position where all you need then is the exhaust, and you go to a stage 2 remap straight away. Another benefit, which isn't really massive for me because I'm not really that fussed about it and it's not why I bought it, but there's a lifetime guarantee on the unit, and also when it comes to servicing, it saves you paying for an air filter. You can just disconnect the air filter with the circlips, wash it, let it dry, stick it back on. One of the other cons that I think I should highlight, which is definitely a me issue, not an induction kit issue, is because of the sound, it does make me want to drive a little bit more vigorously than I normally would. The opportunity to be able to hear that discharge like through tunnels, or when you're going through country lanes and hedges, can't miss up an opportunity like that. So my MPG has gone down, but that's not to say that the induction system doesn't make the car more efficient. If it's giving it a bit more power and it's spooling up faster, logic would dictate it actually would improve efficiency a little bit. There is the counter argument that you would need to make sure the car is mapped to balance the air intake, but I'm not really going to go into that discussion here because it's a light-hearted automotive channel. We're at a set of traffic lights and we're stuck, but there's a hedge next door to us which will help kick some sound back in. So stick the car in trap mode and let's give it a rev and see. Shut up, Citroen! Yeah, I just got a look from the car in front, they weren't happy. Right, off we go. Child. So that's it for today's video, guys. Nice and short one. I'm going to be doing a review on the Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tyres, the Revo ECU Performance remap that we've got, 20,000 mile review because we're on 19,900 or something on this in the next couple of weeks. So stick around, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss those. Thanks again for watching. See you again soon. Bye.